everyone, and welcome to this Videos on Frontier video. My name is Jay Wakefield. Today we have Billy Corr with us.
Hi.
Hey. Yeah, that's good.
Set things up for you.
Yeah. Did you know that you can actually get apps from the Windows Store? Oh, you don't care? I respect that. Anyway, so it seems that we're having a wee bit of a Windows 7 on a Core 2 Duo season here at Videos on Frontier because, well, I've been messing about with this Optiplex, the former media center. I've been messing about with this, the custom belt system, which now actually has a J. Wakefield Computers post screen. Nice. And now we're going to be messing with the other Optiplex, the media center. Now, some of you may remember that we had to kind of leave off of it a wee bit last week because there was no hard disk caddy. Well, I've got one. Here it is. I think it's the right one anyway. It's all purple and stuff. It seems to be, yeah. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up. And the only difference between this one and the one in my other Optiplex is mine seems to have screws in it. But this one doesn't. Doesn't even have any screw holes. So I'm hoping things are going to be okay. Hoping it'll mount. So anyway, what we have here is the hard disk. It's a 500 gig Hitachi. And that is going to go into the caddy. You know, we've got these wee mounting pins that you can just kind of put them in, and there you go. The hard disk is all kind of ready. And you've got the connections on the back there. Now we need to just get into the machine, which is literally a case of pulling a wee lever at the back of the system, and boom, we're in. Of course, some of you, mentioning absolutely no names at all, Billy Corr, seem to find it quite amusing that I'm amazed at how quickly you can get in and out of the inappropriate. Yeah, but Billy seems to have went.
I'm still here.
Alright. And I realised it wasn't Billy I showed on the screen, it was Katie Hopkins. Ugh. I was just reading a story about how, I'm not sure if this is a parody, but certainly there's been some people who've actually signed a petition they're wanting to exchange Katie Hopkins for 50,000 refugees. Sounds like a fair swap, because they will contribute so well. Even one refugee could contribute so much more to society than Katie Hopkins ever would. But you know, 50,000 of them will be able to save them from grisly death. Anyway, what I need to do: lift this tab up, push the optical drive back. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, well, actually. Now some of you will remember actually, last time I did this video, last time we were working on this system, that the optical drive hadn't been detected in the BIOS. Optical drives usually like being connected. So, now, I guess it's a, yeah, I think, now, which is which? Which is SATA 1 and which is SATA 2? Have Dell taken the time to label these for me? Or am I going to have to guess? I don't know. Oh well, we'll soon sort it out. Right. So, where did I put the hard disk? Somewhere. Here it is. So, what I need to do, I'm gonna guess it's the blue one actually, I think. So, just connect one to here and the other one, and then I think this will actually work. Yep, just a case of sliding the caddy in to the openings and then pushing it in. Yep, and that works absolutely fine. You know, and if I needed to lift it out again, you know, there's two purple tabs that you just kind of literally kind of push in and then you push it out again. Yep, that does work. That's good. And now we will re-add the optical drive. So again, you make sure everything is connected. 1 and 2, and then it's again, it's just a case of sliding it in until it clicks. There you go. Now, while I'm setting it up, I've decided I'll set it up at the retro computer corner, but to do that I'm going to need to use VGA. Not a problem. I have this bracket with a VGA on it. What I will do is I will quite literally cheat sheet it. I'll connect this to the pins and I'll just operate the system with the top off. And then when it's time to actually set it up in its permanent home, I can actually remove the VGA header. Again, I probably don't recommend this, but hey, since when did I follow rules? Okay, so we're all set up now. Again, this could be seen as a wee bit precarious, but it should give me a wee bit of a comfortable workstation to set up on. So, first things first then, I actually need to find a Windows 7 DVD. I do believe I have one somewhere. But I'm not just going to use any old Windows 7 DVD, because I actually have a Dell specific one. I was actually given it by the same person who gave me the Gigabyte G31 ES2L board. This is a Dell Windows 7 Professional X64 CD, and this is what we'll be using because there's no product key on the machine, but hopefully this CD will pick up the product key that this machine carries. So first off, let's check it works. Also, we're not going to be using the regular keyboard and mouse, we're going to be using this one, which I did buy for the original Media Center, which is a it's corded at the moment, but it is a cordless Advent keyboard with a trackpad. Yeah, and that's absolutely fine for what I need it for. So, all said and done, smoke test! Yep, VGA out works. Is the keyboard on? There it is. And there's a red light to show me that it's charging. reason this Windows 7 install seems to be awful slow. But what I will obviously hopefully try and change that. I think what we're going to do is we're just going to go for a brand new install. So the hard drive has actually been picked up. That's brilliant. And even though this is a media center, I am going to actually continue to use a password with it. Just because everything else on my network is password protected. You know, and I am happy with the NVIDIA GeForce GT 210. I don't care what anyone says. But yeah, I mean, I do like these Optiplexes. Right, this is taking a while. Probably will do. Ah, come on. Alright, I don't know what this is doing now. Nope, it's still going. Okay, so now we're in setup. So let's have a look. We've got 4 gigs of DDR2 memory. Boot sequence. Standard SATA hard drive. USB or CD-ROM device. Standard or USB floppy drive, onboard network controller, USB device. Let's have a look at the drives. So on the SATA 0 is a Hitachi 500GB hard drive, and on SATA 1 is a DVD-ROM, DVD-RW drive. So that is good. Enable multi-core support, speed step. Virtualization support, it does support it. So yeah, this all seems to be in order. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually just press F12, I think. Okay then. That doesn't seem to want to do it. Oh yeah, apparently this keyboard is confused. What? Stop it. Come on. Enough of your nonsense. Apparently the F11 and F12 keys seem to be a bit missing. I've only ever noticed this now. Look, there's F1 through F10 and number lock and print screen. So I wonder if I have to press the FN button. Also, is there... Oh, no. Look at this. FN, F12. F11 is FN and F1, F12 is FN and F2. Yeah. Have I only ever booted from I've only ever installed Windows on this using this keyboard once. Oh well. So I want to go onboard or USB CD-ROM drive. Press enter, and yep, DVD drive spinning up. Again, I still have the dream of adding a Blu-ray drive to this, to the media center, because Blu-ray. So what I'll do is I'm not going to show you like the full install of Windows 7 because I mean if you want to see it, I mean I do install Windows 7 on my last video. I'm sure I'll probably show it again on other machines. I mean I do have a couple of machines that I need to reinstall Windows 7 too. So yeah, I'm sure you'll see it there. So I'll be back as soon as I've installed it. Well, I was hoping that this would be a simple job, just getting Windows 7 installed, but apparently it turns out not necessarily the case. Now, these Dell Optiplex 380s can have the problem whereby if you're installing Windows, it might come up with a wee error message saying Windows cannot install the required files. The file may be corrupt or missing. Make sure all the files required for installation are available and restart the installation, and then you've got an error code of 0x8007-07570. And I've been trying all kinds of different Windows installation disks and what have you, and good stuff like that, and none of them's worked. I've tried the Dell Windows 7 install disk. I've tried making a USB flash drive of it. I've tried a regular Windows 7 Home Premium disk and a Windows 7 Professional disk, and none of it's worked. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean the hard disk. Okay, right, let's see now. Right. Disk 0. Nope. Select disk 0. Clean. Alright, okay. Never mind. But it looks like I'm going to need to install a version of Windows. I think what I will have to do, therefore, is to actually go ahead and install Windows XP. Actually, because 7, like I said, it's just not wanting to install, it's not wanting to behave. So I mean that's not a problem. It will hopefully, once everything's sorted, it'll be all tickety boo. Plus I will be able to find out if if this machine actually works, which it should do. So here's a Dell Windows XP Professional CD. Now the plan is literally just to install Windows XP, literally so that I can actually update the BIOS. That's all I want to do with it. And once the BIOS has been updated, then basically it'll be a case of coming back to Windows 7 and attempting to install it again. Hopefully this time it will work. So what I will do is I'll power this light off first and then we'll install XP. It's quite funny actually, because I didn't even have to type in the model number. Literally I just kind of typed in the error and it kind of came up oh, I've had this problem with a Dell machine. So I typed in the error, and it was like, oh, no, Dell Optiplex. I typed in the model of the machine. It was like, oh, yeah, Dell Optiplex 80. Yeah, those have those errors all the time. It would seem. But you might be wondering, why has my other one not had that issue? You know, I'm kind of wondering myself, actually. It's been such a long time, actually, since I worked on it, well, it's been such a long time since, I actually got the machine. I can't honestly remember how, sorted everything out. But I know that I did upgrade the BIOS, or at least I believe I did. There's one way to find that out. Well, I mean, I can. Yeah, I did upgrade the BIOS because I had the BIOS file on my flash drive, so it's just basically a case of try to get it to go. However, the thing is, a lot of it is to do, this error for Windows. A lot of it's actually to do with using AHCI. So there's a good chance that that Windows XP won't detect the hard disk, which would be a bit of a menace. Actually, I don't know. It should do, because I've got an XP running on this Optiplex, so I don't see why it shouldn't work. Let's have a look, shall we? Keep hitting enter on the wrong keyboard. Right, okay. So I've got the licensing agreement. And yeah, that disk there is my Windows 7 install thingamajig. There we go. Unpartitioned space. What we're going to do is just install Windows XP. So now we are in Windows XP. So what I'm going to do is plug my flash drive into the front of this machine. Hopefully it should detect it pretty soon. Now, there's no drivers really installed on here, but that's okay. I literally, all I want this Windows XP install for is literally just to be able to run the BIOS update program. So this is what we're going to do now. So that's the BIOS update copied over. The flash drive seems to be blinking away still. Don't know what all that's about. Stop now. So what I'll do is I'll unplug it, and I will unplug, please excuse my unsteadiness here on the camera. I'll unplug the other flash drive out the back of the system. I'm on a tripod, but I had to reach across to be able to grab the Windows 7 USB stick. Right, so basically what this is, Dell Flash BIOS upgrade, Optiplex A07, system BIOS information. I'm on BIOS A03, so replace A03 BIOS with A07. Yes, that's exactly what I want to do. Caution, replace A03 BIOS with A07 BIOS. Pressing OK will close all applications, shut down Windows, flash the BIOS, and then reboot. So, for those of you who remember in my last video talking about only updating the BIOS if advised to do so by the manufacturers and what have you, this is actually one of those situations. So here we're actually going to attempt the BIOS update, and it's just telling me to please wait. So, just don't touch anything while it's doing that. Oh, BIOS update successful. Excellent. So, let's have a look in setup. And look, we see there, BIOS revision A07. That's good. Drives. Right, that's absolutely fine. System configuration. Excellent. Video. Multi-core support, yes. Speed step, yes. Virtualization technology, yes. And there we go. So, this all seems to be in order. So what I think I will do now is I'll plug in the USB drive and see if we can get Windows 7 set up going. So in order to do that, press F12 and then boot from a USB device. So we know that the system is working. It's known good working, as is the optical drive. So, and the hard disk drive. So, I mean, that is a good thing. We know that this system is working. So now it's just a case of seeing if Windows 7 actually installs. And yes, I am actually quite tired. Like I said, I mean, I hoped that this was going to be quite a simple task, to get Windows installed and what have you. Turns out, I was wrong! Like I said, I really can't remember how I managed it on the other one, unless the other one either had already had its BIOS updated to A07, or whether it had a newer revision of the BIOS. But something that's quite interesting is that the BIOS version I've just flashed this with, I mean, this system is from late 2009, and yet the BIOS version that is now running on this system is from July 2014, last year. This is how good Dell is at keeping their systems up and running. But then again, I'd expect that from manufacturers of business machines. I mean, because this is what like it is. I mean, these machines are still very useful, and because they're still very useful, a lot of businesses still use them. Because for businesses, upgrading to new systems is very costly, and talking about upgrading to newer versions of Windows, again, you've got to have it properly deployed, bug tested. Does everything work with it? Is there going to be needing to be any changes? Systems, businesses will keep hold of their systems for a lot longer, but then they will actually, when they do buy, they will buy in bulk. So computer manufacturers who make business-orientated systems, manufacturers like Dell, Lenovo, even Hewlett-Packard, they know that their systems need to, have the longevity needed, you know, for a typical kind of business replacement cycle, upgrade cycle. Because, I mean, if the business bought a fleet of Dells and they all went wrong, then that business would probably say, no, I'm not going to go with Dell again. I'm probably going to go with someone like Hewlett Packard or, you know, Lenovo or someone like that. But as a result, you do get taken care of if you've bought a business machine. You know, this is why I like to do that. You know, and why, you know, I'll certainly, especially for laptops, you know, I mean, I'd sooner have something like a second-hand ThinkPad or a Latitude, than I would have a brand new Pavilion or Satellite or Aspire. Because, I mean, you know, consumer stuff is meant literally as a kind of a throwaway thing. That's all it's for. It's just basically just to kind of throw in the bucket after about a year and, you know, just kind of head out to Curry's or PC World and just buy a brand new one. Because of course, we all have that kind of money that we can afford to buy a brand new piece of crap every year. Anyway, okay, fingers crossed, toes crossed, elbows crossed, knees crossed, side parting crossed, wait, what? Everything crossed. Bad case of rheumatism or arthritis or what have you, that this stuff okay, let's keep the chronic pain out of this, but let's just kind of hope that this all works. Okay, guys, it is 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, just the back of 1 o'clock, and after updating the BIOS last night, I was still getting no further with the Windows 7 setup. Did a wee bit more sleuthing and found that what could be wrong might be the memory modules. So I ran memtest on both modules. I went to bed. When I woke up, there was a screen of errors. So what I did was I took one of the modules out and tested the one remaining module, and it immediately came up with some errors. So I pulled that module out and tested the other one. That came up fine. Now this is the faulty module. Now I'm trying to identify which module it is that I bought from Kex, so that I can actually maybe put it back. Well, it might not even be a Kex module. In fact, it probably isn't. Which basically means that I'll have to replace one of them with a 1 gig module, and once again the media center will be stuck with 3 gigs of RAM, at least for a wee while, until I can afford to go out and buy another 2 gig module. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to see kind of the specs of this module. I'll see what's to do next. Okay guys, I think I know what's happened here. I had to kind of do some checking because according to this packet here, this is 1600 megahertz memory. But what I have here, as you can quite clearly see, is 1333 memory. And, in fact, why don't we check with the other Optiplex what it's running actually? Because, you'll remember I actually bought 2 of these 2 gig modules, So if I actually have a look, system configuration, blah blah blah, general system board, right. This one's saying it's running 1066. Okay, that's okay. I mean, what I can do, I believe, is, in fact, what I will do is I will actually boot this one into Windows XP. In fact, let me mount you all to the tripod first. See, the issue that I'm having is I'm pretty sure that Kix gave me these 1333 modules. I don't think they gave me 1600 modules, but they might say, they might decide that they're not going to give me my money back because the module is the wrong speed compared with that indicated on the blooming packet. That's something I probably should have looked into when I took the RAM from them, but I really didn't expect them to kind of do that. Sit rep. It's just after 5 o'clock now. I went to Kix and I was actually able to get a refund on the memory module. They didn't actually have any to replace it with. However, mine wasn't the only memory module that was mixed up. You see, there was one in stock, a 2 gigabyte 1333 memory module, but when the shop assistant went to get it out, it turned out it was actually a 4 gig module, not a 2 gig one. But as you can see, Windows 7 has successfully installed. It's actually running on 3 gigs of RAM, which was not really what I wanted, but hopefully it will do. I'm just kind of hoping I can make it a bit speedier than it was last time. Basically, I just kind of put the disc in, the Windows 7 DVD, and lo and behold, the thing actually worked. Okay guys, it is Monday morning. It is on the nose, 8:25, and my phone's battery is low, so I'm going to have to kind of keep this short and sweet. But the Media Center system is now installed. I've got all the programs that I need. Things like Power DVD, video, VLC Media Player, iTunes, QuickTime, Google Chrome for accessing stuff online like YouTube and Netflix, and of course Media Center itself. So why don't we go and set that up now, okay? At the moment there's no TV tuner in. I do have a Hopodge WinTV HVR 900 that I've had since 2007, which I may install in there. Right, now, I mean, there's certain things that I probably don't want to set up now. Things like the display. But I might, I might see if I can actually tell it it's running. I don't know. But I mean, I will start to set it up now, so it's, when I get it set up in its permanent home, it'll actually be a wee bit more. Nope. No, I want to use a different display, preferred display not in use, blah blah blah. Do you know what? We don't have to do that bit just yet. Again, I don't want to set up my speakers just yet. One thing that I can do is set up my media libraries. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set up everything from the network shares. make more changes. So I'll set up my pictures as well, you know, just in case I have any pictures that I might want to show to folk on the big screen. Public, blah, blah, blah. Pictures. Nope. I think I'll make even more changes still. Videos. Sorry, I'm not using my tripod at the moment. On this computer. Now, there's quite a few videos in different places on my network, so I mean, they're all on the same machine, but they're kind of different places on that machine. So, for example, I want to put some get some videos copied from here, from there, and from there. And, you know, if there's anything, I'm not sure what constitutes a movie in Windows Media Center. I really don't know. I mean, I know what constitutes a movie generally, but in Media Center, yeah. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of copy the video. I'll just kind of tell it to look in the video folders for movies. So here, more videos on JPC and videos on JPC. You can wait while media is added or select to continue Media Center. And you know what? Just for the time being, we've finished. I will optimize things like the display, you know, once it's all ready. Power DVD 14 is there, so I can either use my external Blu-ray drive or put an internal one in and use it with Media Center, and I do plan to put an internal one in eventually. Okay, so we've got the media bit sorted, but you know, what about fun? What about if I quite fancied playing a few games? Actually, yes, I do fancy playing a few games on this, on the big screen. And what better games to play than old games from the 80s? So, I don't know what I just did there. Let's get some emulators up on this machine. Okay, so I've got some stuff copying. Now, for the sake of saving disk space and you know, the kind of games that I want to play in here, I've decided just to go for the console emulators. Although I can't mind what Frodo does. Oh, Jings, it's a C64. Oh well. I suppose we could. I suppose I could go a Commodore 64 emulator. I mean, this is a keyboard. But apart from that, I mean, I'll you know what, I'll let that copy as well. I've decided to copy ROMs for the Atari 2600, C64, Famicom, Game Boy Color and Advance, the Machine Arcade, the MAME Arcade Machine Emulator. Can't even mind what something Machine Arcade Emulator or something. I can't even mind what it is, what MAME stands for. I know it's an acronym though. NES, also an acronym for Nintendo Entertainment System. Got a NES emulator running on there. Nintendo 64. I've not bothered with the PlayStation. Again, if I change my mind, I'll throw that back on there. But I don't see myself actually doing so, because actually I'm not sure about NES, because there is actually a real life NES underneath the television as well. And there's a Nintendo 64 and there's a Mega Drive. But my Master System's in my bedroom. But yeah, I mean, a wee bit of MAME. I've got yeah, Master System, Mega Drive, and SNES ROMs. Although I must admit, I really don't like Win9X. The emulation has, it's never really struck me as anything brilliant. To be honest, I mean, some of the Sega ones seem to be a lot better. Yes, I do own a genuine C64 and a bag full of cassette tapes as well. So let's throw that on there. But yeah, I've never liked the NES emulator, the Win9X, or SNES 9X rather. Whoops. So yeah. Anyway, I would say that this is done. So before this battery completely runs out, why don't we actually go and set it up in its new home? I'll do all that off camera, but I'll show you it booting up and what have you. So be back in a few. Yeah, that is to say, be back in about a week. Yeah, no, that I wasn't counting on, but it's a good thing it's doing it now, because it means it won't do it later. It'll just install yet more updates later. Go figure. Okay. Okay, guys, we are all pretty much set up now. So, what we need to do is we will need to actually, well, first of all, that'd be an idea if the remote for the hi-fi had some batteries in it that actually worked. Also, need to switch on the sound, and let's switch on the computer. So I've disconnected the VGA header because we're not going to be using it now. This is now connected up to the GT210's HDMI port, which not only carries video, but carries audio as well. So that is going straight through the TV, which is going down to the hi-fi and then across to the speakers. So we've got a much fuller and more richer sound. So I think it's going to take a while to start Windows because, well, I had to update to install. Again, I'm a wee bit disappointed that I've only got 3 gigs of RAM in this system. But you know, it's better to have 3 gigs of RAM in a working system rather than, you know, 4 gigs of RAM in a broken system. Oh, I guess it's no, it's not. There we go. And I think that this is actually, yeah, I do believe it's actually realised that it's connected to a widescreen HDMI TV and has reset itself accordingly. So that is good. But it's a good thing this is doing this now rather than, you know, if I want to watch a film, especially, you know, if I want to watch a film with someone else, you know. There's nothing quite embarrassing as, hey, check this out, my really impressive media centre. Oh, it's taking years. Shall we go and get a carry out while it's loading? Now, when the system's sat here, this wireless keyboard with the trackpad really comes into its own. Right, okay, so there's no sound. Great stuff. Okay, I needed to set the HDMI to be the default device for volume, for sound output. Also, one thing that has made itself clear is this system would like to reserve me a Windows 10 upgrade. Now, as much as I really like Windows 10, and yes I do, I'm quite happy for this system to remain running Windows 7 for as long as possible because of Media Center. Talking of which, shall we continue setting it up? And this is where things start to take a while. Oh. Let's not be adding any gadgets to the desktop just now. So what I want to do, whoops, not pictures, general, let's set up the speakers, and yep, it's going through the HDMI to speakers. Yep. I don't know why the left one of the speakers sounds a wee bit muffled. I think it. I don't know. Configure the TV or monitor. Yep, I can see it on my preferred display this time around, and it's a flat panel TV, HDMI, 16:9. And now we're all fully set up. So let's see what we've got in the movie library. Hey, I tell you before. James, thought we'd added all that. Let's see now.
Las Vegas is often thought of as the wedding capital of the country. Want to get married quickly? Come to Las Vegas. Well, this week, some of the most important couplings in the computer industry will take place here. Not at one of these little wedding chapels, but over at the convention center at the Consumer Electronics Show. One example, the unlikely mating of a high-end workstation company, Silicon Graphics, and a low-end video game maker, Nintendo. Today...
So, yep, that seems to work. As does the remote control. The media center remote, do you remember these? This one's getting on a bit, but hey, still works. It's, I believe it's still running on the same batteries from 2006 as well. But I have to be careful not to hit the start button, as that will set my Xbox 360 going as well. But yeah, whoops. This all does appear to work. So, I reckon now is as good a time as any to wrap up this video. So I will. I hope you've all enjoyed watching this video. If you have, please feel free to subscribe to Video Sans Frontières on YouTube. Follow the channel on Facebook, and feel free to also follow me on Twitter. The URL for all those addresses, well, the URL for everything, will of course follow. But in the meantime, thank you for watching this video, and please join me for my next one. And if you want to, you're more than welcome to join me for my next video on your own Dell Optiplex 380 Media Center, if you should happen to have built one. Sound more like UXW built there, but okay. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all